My hope is they don't get an echo. Hello, 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 everyone. I am actually really excited. I was just talking in the green room. My buddy Jeff, who's actually in Russell Brunson's inner circle with me, super accomplished. Well, you see, I'm actually really proud and happy for a couple of reasons. Number one, people in the seven-figure family, they were like, one guy was like, "Hey, man, I want to do a product launch." I'm like, "Well, this isn't a product launch, of course, but." We want to help you. We're here to help you scale. We're going to do whatever it takes to scale. So I have a buddy who does seven-figure product launches. So let me call him in here for a training. And he was gracious enough and kind enough. And I'm really lucky to have a friend like him. Actually, he's actually a really great guy. So guys, Jeff is unbelievable. I've heard him speak in person. I've actually traveled to hear him speak. He's phenomenal. Believe me, I respect him every time. He is top notch, and it's a real honor and privilege to bring him here. And guys, he's very open to questions. He's very transparent. His stuff really works. I've seen the results. He's gotten people absolutely phenomenal results with what he's about to teach you right now. So, hey guys, I know you guys value your time a lot. I value my time a lot. I'm sitting here. I'm going to be taking diligent notes, and I recommend you guys do the same. Nothing but good things can come out from this. So, we're trying a little new technology here, so you have to bear with me a little bit. I hope this works. Otherwise, frankly, I don't know what I'm going to do. But let's see. It should work. So right now we're going to do, well, here, we're going to test something. Okay. So do me a favor. Jeff, can you just say hi for a second?
What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff Brewer here.
Nice. Okay, guys, did you hear that? You can see everything. Is everything cool? Please say yes. If you don't say yes, I literally have no alternative for you. I'm just going. There's a little bit of a delay, so we'll wait to get a response back. Let's see here. He's about to teach you right now. Okay, actually, there's a massive delay here. So hold on. I'm just waiting for a response. Okay, cool. Yes, we have confirmation. This is working. This is a massive success. All right, guys, I am super pumped, super excited. I can't wait any longer, so I'm gonna just hand over the floor to Jeff. Jeff, thank you so much, my friend. Let's rock and roll. The floor is yours.
Okay, sounds great. So can everyone see my screen? Okay, do we need to zoom in there on that
Yeah,
screen a little bit?
I've done a full screen now.
Okay, cool. So good to go?
Good to go.
Okay, awesome. Okay, what's up, everyone? My name is Jeff Brewer. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And normally I really don't do too many of these private trainings, but my good buddy Akbar reached out to me and he said that there's a lot of amazing entrepreneurs in your community. I'm very familiar with it, so I was more than happy to step up and be here with you guys today. And I want to try and bring you guys behind the scenes of what I'm doing in my product launches and specifically what I'm seeing some of the top marketers in the world do in their launch. I want to tell you guys a little bit about me, and I really, have to be careful on these because I find that there's always a different level of background and experience when it comes to product launches of what people know in the past and what they're familiar with. Some people have are experienced launchers. Some people have never done a launch or a webinar or a 4-part video series launch before. So I want to kind of give you guys a little bit about me, a little bit of background about the product launch process, how it started, what I do, how it works, and then I can show you guys some of the top launch hacks that I'm actually seeing some of the top marketers do in their launch that I'm using in my launch to teach my launchers in my community. And then I want to open it up for questions. And there's some questions that we got from the Facebook group yesterday. And then there's some questions that you guys will have who are watching live today. So that's pretty much our agenda today. I want to give you guys a lot of information in a short amount of time and really rock and roll and make sure that we're adding value from start to finish and make sure you guys leave really thinking that it was worth your time to be here with us live. And if you stay until the end, we have a very cool gift that I personally want to give you, a free gift for staying until the end. So without further ado, let's get started. So like I said, my name is Jeff Brewer, and I've been in the digital marketing space since about 2012. And believe it or not, the digital marketing space is, as you guys know, innovating, changing every day, and it's still a relatively new industry. So it's probably one of the only industries in the world that makes me a veteran in. So it's pretty exciting. I love what I do. I love learning. I've worked with some of the top brands in the world in my digital marketing agency. You can see these are some of the clients and brands I've had the pleasure of working with in the past. Did SEO for Public Storage, Skechers Shoes, Walt Disney, built a mobile app for IBM, Worked with Raytheon and NASA, did some social media stuff for Experian and Roundtable Pizza. Really cool to work with some of the biggest brands in the world. But what I found was when I was running this digital marketing agency, although it was successful, although we were having a lot of really awesome companies we were working with, I always wanted something more, something deeper, something greater. It wasn't enough of a fulfillment for me personally to be growing these big brands. I wanted to help entrepreneurs and small business owners and really help them leave this legacy and have a greater impact on smaller communities online to help them grow this into larger communities. So that's when I started morphing into not just a digital marketing agency that did everything for everyone, working with different size companies, but really focusing on the one thing I was best at, which was product launches, and trying to bring my expert analysis and insights around product launches to entrepreneurs all over the world. So that's what I really want to walk you guys through today. So I really feel that, like I said, being in digital marketing for the last 6 years, one of the major epiphanies I've had is that as entrepreneurs, we all have superpowers. We're all unique. We all have our own personality, our own unique flair. As you know, with the main man behind the 7-figure family, Akbar Sheikh, is a very interesting personality. He had so much value. He has these great legacy missions of wanting to end blindness. He comes from a background of being homeless, and now he's a top 1% earner trying to change lives. So you guys are seeing this, at the forefront of the space in your leader of the 7-figure family, Akbar. I think it's all so important for us, even if you're a beginner, to get past that level and know that you have unique skill sets, experiences that are unique to you in your specific situation. There's always going to be people that are going to come to you and be drawn to you because of who you are and what you can do. So I want to preface you guys with that and really tell you that, your superpowers allow us to be people, to help people. And as entrepreneurs, we're here to use our superpowers to change the world in a way that no one else can. So I really want you guys to be thinking about that and how product launch can help you do that through our training today. And people, this question gets tossed around a lot, right? Like, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? So I always say that my why is to bring other entrepreneurs' why into the world in the biggest and fastest way that I know how. And that is through executing successful product launches, guys. Being in the space as long as I have, I've seen a lot of different strategies and tactics from social media, SEO. There's all these different things that have, Facebook ads that have come and gone. But the one thing that has stood the test of time for over a decade and even decades have been product launches. I want to show you guys some of those examples today around why. And everything I've researched and found, I just think product launches are the single best way to launch, grow, and scale your business in the short term and in the long term as well. So what significant role do I have and where does my niche fit in the product launch space? There's some amazing experts that do product launches. There's very few people that teach it, but what I found is that when I really got into the next level of the digital marketing game, the number one thing that I learned from my mentor, Russell Brunson, right away was that his biggest takeaway from when he was working with Tony Robbins was Tony told him to model what works. So Russell started to model what works in this concept of funnel hacking that he started implementing into his business, and then he was successfully funnel hacking other entrepreneurs, and then he started teaching funnel hacking to his community and to his tribe, and now funnel hacking has become one of the single greatest movements on the internet today, having him have a free community of 160,000 members and a paid community of 60,000 members in his Facebook and paid communities as well. So I really saw this as like a huge, amazing movement. And when I was funnel hacking other companies, I started thinking, well, why can't I just take the same funnel hacking concept instead of hack people's funnels that might take, you could go through someone's funnel in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, right? I started thinking like, why don't I just take my analytical skill set and personality and start launch hacking these top marketers' launches? So that's what I did. So I started launch hacking the product launches of the top marketers in the world so I could bring their expert strategies to entrepreneurs like you so you can implement their exact strategies on your very next launch. Because what I found is that, launches are they're longer term, right? They take a lot longer to go through from start to finish than it does a funnel. So it's not that I want to teach you guys how to launch hack on your own. I want to show you guys what I've learned from launch hacking on my own so that you could take the same expert strategies that I found from those tens of hours, the hundreds of hours that I've done from launch hacking these top marketers' launches and implement the same strategies in your very next launch. So my other mentor, so I'm in 2 big coaching programs and 2 big masterminds. Russell and Inner Circle with Akbar is the first one. And the second one is I'm in Jeff Walker's coaching program. So if you don't know, Jeff Walker is the founder and creator of the product launch formula. And like I said, in the world of quickly changing, instantly evolving, and innovating digital marketing strategies where things and algorithm updates and just social media channels of what works and what doesn't is changing every single day. Jeff's product launch formula, he's been doing it since 2005. So 13 years, guys. So this is really when I talk about trying to understand what processes and systems work over time. His formula and his system of his 4-part video series has been working since 2005. He's had over 1 million people go through his free online workshop, and his students have been able to generate over $1 billion in live launch revenue. So instantly trying to learn what is working over time, what's sustainable in this ever-changing industry. Product launches have been the number one thing that I've found. I want to walk you guys through what I've learned in this product launch training from Jeff, and then how I've really taken it to the next level, right? So it's always like learn from the best, and then how do you do what they're doing, and then innovate and get creative and try to do it in a more compelling way that you can make it unique to you and your specific situation. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is how to turn your email list, your messenger list, and your social media followings into 6 to 7 figures in revenue in 5 days of sales without selling the clients one by one. If you guys are interested in doing that, leave a comment, give me some likes, give me some hearts in the live. I want to hear who's interested in this, and I really want to take the remainder of our time today to really bring it for you and give you guys some next level launch hacks. So we have this really cool inside joke inside the Inner Circle Mastermind where we always say, keep it like the acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid. We always say, do what Russell says. Like so many times as creatives, as sophisticated entrepreneurs and marketers, we try to confuse things. We try to do too many things at once. We try to step too far outside of the box. But really, if you do what Russell says, we always say it's going to be okay. So I want to kind of tell you guys a little bit about that. And that's kind of the baseline for how I took this concept of doing what Russell says to start funnel hacking some of the best and top marketers in our space, and then apply that same funnel hacking concept to launch hack the top marketers in the product launch space. And I started by doing this one day when I saw my mentor Jeff Walker's most recent product launch going live. And I said, oh my God, epiphany, light bulb, this is it. Like his launch is live. I need to launch hack his launch. And then once I launch hack his launch, I can study it, I can analyze it, I can understand what he's doing. And it was like I really just started seeing the matrix for the first time. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Like when you people all the time try to teach you things and you can learn from hearing things, but it's like I'm just one of those visual learners. So when I was seeing things and not just going through a course, everything just started becoming clear. It was super awesome. So I want to break down to you guys essentially what I started doing. And after I was launch hacking Jeff's launch and I really learned everything, I was then able to articulate it and start teaching it to other companies and other entrepreneurs in different parts of the online marketing space that wanted to do product launches. So this is one of my first customers that I ever did a launch for. They're 2 poker influencers where they're professional poker players and they teach other poker players how to play poker online and offline through digital content. Their brand name's called Upswing Poker. Their influencer, his name's Doug Polk. He's like one of the top social media influencers in the world on poker. And pretty much when they came to me, they had some free content that they were delivering to their audience. And then they had content that they were delivering in a monthly membership program. And I said, hey, do you guys know that a percentage of your audience today will pay you $1,000 to $2,000 to launch a digital course for them to allow them to go deeper in a short amount of time frame? And they said, that's so funny you said that because we've been thinking about doing a launch for a digital course for months. We'd love to bring you onto our team to fully execute this launch. Can we do it? So I said, yes, let's rock and roll. Let's do a successful launch. So I want to break down the process and system that I used to launch hack Jeff Walker's launch and apply those same exact process and systems to my first client's launch. So you guys can visually see, I don't just want to talk to you guys about the launch. I want to show you visually how this works from start to finish so that you can get a baseline for it. So just like you guys can see, Jeff Walker has his opt-in page here. free launch workshop, learn how to launch your product, service, book, business, maximum success. We were teaching a specific course game of poker called PLO. So we had the same compelling headline. He had a call to action for instant access. So did we. He had a countdown timer. So did we, right? So we modeled what works. A really cool thing, and I'll get into this kind of in further detail. It's called pretty much most people, what they do when they have you opt in is they have you click a call to action button like you did on the first page, and then they have you put in their email, right? But where we try to take this to the next level is we try to create what's called perceived customization for our audience by allowing them to self-identify with one or more of the following avatars, so that you can take them through a unique experience and perceived customization experience in your launch from start to finish. So I'll give you guys some more examples of that. But pretty much how this works is if you have, Actionetics and ClickFunnels or Infusionsoft, when your avatar and your visitor selects one of the options here, and then on the next screen puts in their email, Actionetics or Infusionsoft will tag that visitor so that you can put them through a unique sequence in your launch. So pretty much the majority of the launch is going to be the same, but I'm sure you guys have heard of the term pre-framing. So we can pre-frame our audience in this one unique way. This is a unique introduction video that they will receive. It's 1 minute to 3 minutes in length, and you'll show them this video to pre-frame them to look out for all of the elements in your main launch workshop videos that are specific to them and their specific situation. So for example, I said, one of your avatars can be, hey, I'm a beginner, right? Another one of your avatars can be, hey, I'm an expert, or I work with clients one-on-one. So that way, when you go to this unique intro video here, you can show them specifically, and you can call them out. You can say, hey, how's it going? Like, my name's Jeff. I know you're probably just starting out on your entrepreneurial journey. So if that's you, I can remember back to when I was a beginner. Here are the things, like the limiting beliefs of self-doubt that I had within myself. And here's where I'm at now. I want to show you how you can go to where you are now to where I am at now in the future by going through these exact steps. Please pay attention to these when you go through the pre-launch workshop, and you're gonna love it, right? So because I gave them a unique pre-frame, and you'll do that same thing if they're an expert or one of the other avatars that you selected, right? So just by doing that unique 1 to 3 minute intro video pre-frame, everything in this 4-part video series in your free launch workshop you're gonna show them is gonna seem unique to them and their specific situation. Pretty cool, right? So then when we get to the free 4-part video series, I often refer to this as like your free launch workshop. So this is where you're going to show them a 4-part video series, and I want to walk you guys through what the difference between those videos are. And this is just kind of that page layout, right? I'm sure a bunch of you have gone through launches before where you've seen these 4 thumbnails at the top of the page, the main video in the middle of the page, maybe a PDF guide that'll help you walk through the video here, then Facebook comments below to get some social media, social proof, and interaction with the community and with the launch going, so more people are engaged and more people watch it from start to finish. So real quick, video 1, it's the PLC 1, it's the new opportunity video. And these videos can be anywhere from like 10 minutes to 30 minutes, even more in length, just depending on how much education, value, storytelling that you want to do, right? So like I said, video 1, it's the new opportunity. You're going to explain your new opportunity to them. What is your blue ocean? Why should they care? What's your origin story? How can it impact them and change their life? You need to hook them hard in this first video so that they're compelled to come back for video 2, 3, and 4 and watch in the entire video series in this free launch workshop. And a lot of things that we like to do is take them through what we call the problem solution path. So you present a problem to them in each video, and then you go through that problem and you solve it for them. And then after that problem is solved, you then tell them what the next problem is that solution created, and then you leave them on a cliffhanger and build up anticipation for video 2, and then video 3, and so on and so forth. So then video 2 is what we call the transformation video. So you can see at this point, now the first video and the second video are available, but still the third video and the fourth video in the free launch workshop are still not available. So video 2 is often referred to as the transformation video. So you now show them what's possible, what's on the other side of the bridge, what's behind door number 2. So if you told them what the new opportunity was in video 1. You're then going to explain to them a little more education, provide more value, storytell more. But the main goal of this is to show transformation, not just the transformation you experienced when you took advantage of this new opportunity and achieved that result, but what were the transformations and the success stories of your students or your clients? What transformations did you deliver for them, right? And then after you review the transformation video in video 2, you're then going to view what we call the blueprint video in video 3. Video 3 is where you want to give more of an outline of what your main course or membership site, the information that's going to entail. So I always say the most information in the free launch workshop is delivered in this third video. You want to really hit them hard. You want to add value. You want to storytell. You want to educate. You want people in this video to go, wow, this content is amazing. This person really knows what they're talking about. I need to know more. And if they do want to know more, you're then going to take them to what we call the sales video in video 4. And this is where the training, the educational part of the 4-part video series is over. And you're really going to explain to them that, hey, every time I go through this free launch workshop, there's people that reach out to me and leave comments and say, hey, this content was amazing. How do I know more? How do I learn more? Do you have a paid program I can join? How do I get inside the community to learn more from you and learn at a deeper level? So if you've been thinking that and that's you and you want to learn more about what our paid program entails, I want to go through that at this time with you. So if any of you have done a webinar launch before and you think about the offer stack, right, is where you transition to telling them the offer, adding value, and then making that offer available for the first time. I like to think of the sales video in the 4-part video series as that exact same thing. So two pretty much fruits for thought here is there's people like Jeff Walker who just like showing the straight sales video and then a call to action for people to buy. However, I'm more on the train of thought that I think there are people that love watching long form videos to buy. I think there are people that love reading sales copy instead of watching videos because they just like skimming and buying. And then I also think there's people that prefer watching and buying on webinars. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But that's why in this situation, we have a sales page that has their sales video and then sales copy on it as well. So if you were to ask me which method I would prefer ours on the right that we use. And this is pretty much where I thought, okay, how do I take this simple 4-part video series that I just walked you guys through and take it to the next level? Like, how can I combine my digital marketing and social media experience that I did in my digital marketing agency and overlay that on top of this 4-part video series where most people have just been communicating with their audience through email from start to finish of their launch and really use social media to take it to that next level. So what I do in the pre-launch phase, which is before the pre-launch phase where these first 3 videos are released, is you do daily social media posts of storytelling, adding value for free, and then trying to lead people into either your lead magnet to get them on your email list or your messenger bot list, or within your free plus shipping offers or some type of lower priced products if you want to try and test the heat of your buyer and sell them something right away when you bring them in. That's something that I always like to do. I know one person asked a question in the group about I'll get to this later in the Q&A, but do you just build your email list and not sell anything before the launch, or do you build your email list and try to sell them things before the launch? So both people use both strategies, both work. I'm someone that I always like to be making as much revenue as I can on top of adding as much value and educating as much as I can in between launches. So that's why I think it's super important in the pre-launch phase to be adding value for free, educating people. If you want to test the heat of the buyers now and offer them some type of lower price product to liquidate your advertising spend and to bring in more revenue between launches, amazing. That's a strategy that I like to do as well. So I totally agree with that. Or if you're someone that just likes to run advertising dollars and do collaborations and put out amazing content to build the goodwill up and not charge them anything more, to just continuously be building your email list and your social media following more, I think that's a great idea as well, right? They're 2 different fruits for thought. It's not like one is wrong, one is right. They both work. You just have to do what's perfect and what's better for you in your specific situation. See what your audience reacts to and responds to more. But I think the biggest mistake I see people make is they wait right until the launch period, like right before your video one and your free launch workshop is going to go live, to, for the first time, start publishing content and bringing people on your email list. And then you do your launch and it's like a ghost town, right? So you need to be adding value in as much in advance of your launch as possible. That way you build up your goodwill as much as you can before the launch, so that people want to consume your launch content and then come into your paid program after the launch is done. So another thing, like I mentioned, we do what's called Ryan Levesque's Ask Method, where you survey your avatar before they opt into the launch, so you can tag them and put them through elements of perceived customization in the launch. I talked about the unique intro video. I'll give you guys some more examples to bring that more to life later in the presentation. And then we're sending them emails. We're telling them on social media to go from video one, hey, video two is live now. Hey, if you haven't seen video two, go back, and watch video two, because video three is coming out in three days. Hey, if you watched video one and video two, we're going to show you a Facebook retargeting ad that's going to bring you back to video three. Make sure you watch video three. Hey, if you watched video one, two, and three, but haven't watched video four, we're going to show you a Facebook retargeting ad to bring you back to video four. So we're using paid and organic social media. We're using email. We're using Facebook Messenger. We're using Facebook groups. Right? If you have a podcast, use that. We want to be trying to communicate with our audience as much as we can before, during, and after the launch every time. So I want to show you guys some examples specifically of the social media posts that we are doing and that we can do. So here on my screen, these are just some examples of the posts that we made during our poker launch. And you can see here, we made posts on Instagram, we made posts on Instagram stories, we made posts on Facebook. So pretty much the idea here is that as you're continuously adding value before the launch, don't just stop adding value for free during the launch. You want to continue adding value for free, but you want to give people little bite-sized, quickly consumable golden nuggets. That way that they can click on the unique URLs you have on all of your social media channels, which will take them to the pre-launch content, your videos in your free workshop, right? So all of your call to actions, everything you're promoting on all social channels, on all of your email, everything to your customer is going to go back to what video is currently live in your launch workshop, okay? The next thing I like to do is use social media to show a behind the scenes of your launch. So if you look at what your ads are showing, if you look at what your email is showing, if you look at what your Facebook Messenger is showing, it's kind of taking people through the front of the house, right? It's like the sales, it's the value you're providing, it's the sales messaging. You're trying to get people to consume your launch content. I love using Facebook Lives and stories during the launch to take people behind the scenes of what you're working on, like maybe problems you're having, like what you're thinking, how people are reacting, like what are the results. I think using social media to give people behind the scenes look who are going through the launch, so that you're kind of incepting them, if you will, into your launch process, is a great idea. So this is an example of Stu McLaren, who took people behind the scenes of his live Tribe workshop. I'm sure a bunch of you have heard of Tribe, Stu's membership site course. So he was doing Facebook Lives to bring people behind the scenes of that live workshop, which I thought was super cool. Another way I've seen some top marketers using social media during their launches to create social proof. So right when Ryan Levesque, who is the founder of the Ask Method Masterclass, or founder of the Ask Method and his digital course, the Ask Method Masterclass, he pretty much, like, better than anyone I've ever seen, was able to inject social proof and really create this fear of missing out concept during the final open cart period of his launch. He would take the Facebook profile of people who had signed up, pull their image, and then make a unique collage welcoming you as a new student to the community and tag you in it, and he would post it in the free launch workshop Facebook group for all the launch students to see. So it clearly creates this fear of missing out concept where you're like, dang, all those people are signing up, social proof, credibility, and dang, I don't see my picture there, I don't see my name tag, I'm really missing out, right? So you can see how powerful and compelling that is to continuously be seeing all these people's lives change right in front of your eyes, and you be sitting on the sidelines, not taking action. So it really makes people want to buy when they see that massive social proof, like community social proof. Those are some of the huge things I really love to portray during the launch from start to finish. So Ryan did a great job of doing that there. And then after the fourth video goes live, we then go into a 5-day open cart sequence where you only make the product available for 5 days, and there's different things we do in each day, because what you've probably thought is that, and seen what happened before, is right when the product becomes available, all of your loyal fans, your loyal followers, the people that were probably going to buy anyway, purchase. And then on your final day of open cart, when you have the urgency and scarcity of the cart closing, all the people who don't want to miss out are going to purchase then, right? And then typically days 2, 3, and 4, you'll see a little bit of a drop off, and it's your job as a successful launcher to understand what you can do to pick up the sales and not have this valley, right, on days 2, 3, and 4. So that's why we implement unique themes of the launch on the 5-day open cart period. And I want to save kind of what these themes are for a little bit later, because we still have a lot to go through. So guys, that's kind of like if this presentation is 2 parts, that's pretty much part 1, which is just visually showing you guys. Like, I don't just like teaching, I like showing. So that was me visually showing you guys and taking you through some visuals of what the product launch process looks like from start to finish. So now I want to go into part 2, where I'm going to take you guys specifically through the 15 launch hacks you can use to crush your next launch. So I'm not sure, again, if we'll have time to get through all 15. I'll try to get through as much as we can. We might just have to do 10 so we can save some time for Q&A. But I want to bust through these. So pretty much, now that you know what the product launch process entails, I want to show you what I'm seeing the top marketers in the world do in their product launches, so you can take these strategies and implement them in your very next launch. So most people try to teach this whole system, this whole process, right? And what happens is that so many people are investing in so much content that they're not going through it all, and they're just not taking action. So the way I see it is I like to provide content in this launch hacks format. So for example, I'm going to try to give you guys 15 launch hacks, and maybe you don't do all 15, but if I can get you to do 10, 5, 3, even 1, that could change the course of your business by helping you solve someone's problem and changing your launch to sell 1 more person into your course, or sell 10 more, 100 more, whatever it is. I want to give you guys as many launch hacks as I can so that you can take away what you want. And I want to be able to implement I want to be able to have you guys take something away from this that you can implement tomorrow, right? So let's get into phase 2 here, which is the 15 launch hacks you can use to crush your next launch. So the first thing is you can create new products or offers to launch multiple times a year. So one of the biggest false beliefs and objections I get about launches is people say, hey, I don't want to do a product launch because I don't want to have these inconsistent spikes in revenue where all of my revenue is reliant on doing 1 launch per year, right? Have you guys ever thought about that or heard someone say that about why they don't want to do a product launch? I hear it all the time. So that's a huge misconception, because the way that it is smart, and a lot of the top marketers in the world will only launch once or twice per year, especially if you're using big joint venture partners, because it's hard to recruit big joint venture partners to promote for you multiple times in a 1-year time frame. So that makes sense. But what is really cool is that entrepreneurs and marketers like us are able to create either multiple products or multiple offers to launch multiple times in 1 year, right? So you just really have to understand like the frequency at which your market is going to buy, because I think there's really 2 roots for thought here, right? There's people like Jeff Walker who have 1 huge joint venture launch every year, and that's it. And then he has his coaching programs and his live events in between his major launch. And then there's people like Russell Brunson who teach you, hey, do a live webinar launch once a week, every single week for 52 weeks, or however long it takes you until you make 7 figures, right? So there's no right way to do this. There's no wrong way to do this. However, I found that if you are not someone that only wants to rely on the inconsistent revenue and the spikes in revenue from 1 annual launch, the quickest and easiest way is to create multiple products or multiple offers to launch more frequently with a different offer. and then to have your value ladder in your business built out, right? So offer different products at different price points in your business, and that way you can still do one big launch a year or one big launch a quarter to your digital course or your membership site. But launching, whether it's once a year, once a quarter, once a month, it allows you consistently building your email list to then quickly ascend people into your different types of launches and products. And then it allows you to bring in more revenue in throughout the year from start to finish. So I think that's one big thing I want to tell you guys in Preface about launches, right? Even if you think about 1% to 5% of the people that go through your launch workshop might buy your product live, but that's still 95% of the emails of people that went through your launch that you can then downsell them, upsell them a new product, upsell them to an affiliate product after they buy, upsell them into your coaching program or your intensive or a weekend workshop or a mastermind or a certification, right? On and on and on. There's so many different things that you can do. It's just a matter about building that value ladder in your business that makes sense, right? So is that cool? All right, so like I said, I don't just want to teach, I want to show. So here's one example of how we took this poker launch, and I didn't really finish the story, but essentially what we did is in this first launch, launching to only our customers' email list, they were able to make $305,000 in 5 days in this one launch. So the launch was huge, it was amazing, it was super successful, right? And most people just would have said, okay, that's great. We made $305,000 in 5 days. That's it. Let's wait till next year and we'll do another, hopefully $300,000 launch. Maybe we can increase it by a little bit. Maybe we can, take it evergreen and joint venture. Let's just see what happens. Well, what we thought is, okay, this was just one game of poker that we talked about and did a course on. Let's create 4 courses about the different types of poker, right? So the first one was called Pot Limit Omaha, which is this, super trending upward game. The next one, we created what's called Heads Up course, which is one-on-one poker. So literally the next month, we did what's called a growth hack launch, where you put together a launch quickly, launch a product to your internal email list before the product is even created. Literally, we sold a product, guys, before it was even created to an engaged audience, because we surveyed them and asked them, what's the next product you guys want to buy that you want us to make? And they said, this is it. We sold a product to them that wasn't created yet, and we made another $300,000 in 5 days the very next month. Guys, this company that has never launched before did their first launches in back-to-back months and made $305,000 in 1 month and then $300,000 in month 2. Pretty awesome, right? So you guys can see, you don't just need to launch one product. You can launch multiple products, because there are people on your list that might want product 1, and then there's people on your list that might want product 2, right? Then there's people on your list that might want both. So you have to be creating and launching multiple products, right? Then this PLO course that we did $305,000 in 5 days with, we then, after when we did the live launch in month 1, we then took it evergreen, right? Which is, we made the launch automated by pretty much running Facebook ads to a lead magnet and then putting people into an automated email sequence and retargeting them based on the pages in the launch workshop they visited to come back and see the offer. And we then were converting our audience going through the automated evergreen launch, making $50,000 a month for 3 months. And then pretty much we listened to our audience. And guys, a lot of your offers will be created successfully around listening to your audience, having them tell you what they want, what products they're already buying that they want to be better from someone else, or what products that they're not buying but they would love to buy. Or maybe it's a different content format that they want to consume the content in, which was the case here. So for example, we created a digital course, and the feedback we were getting was, hey, this course is amazing. However, we want to get more content on a more frequent basis, which, what does that scream? Membership, right? Ongoing, monthly, new content every month in new membership format. So pretty much we did the same exact concept again without having the products created, did another launch where we said, hey, this course is coming off the market. We're now going to turn this PLO course into an online membership program where we're going to be coming out with new content every single month. This is the last time you could purchase this course ever. It's coming off the market today. So it's coming off the market this week. So all the people that were interested in buying the course at some point but didn't want to buy it on the first live launch or the evergreen launches that they were seeing, they had to buy it now because it was never going to be available again. And we did another $300,000 in 5-day launch from this take the course off the market launch. Literally, we didn't add anything. We just said, hey, this product isn't going to be available again because we're taking it into a membership site format. If you want to buy now. And we did that, and we made from the internal launch that we did to the evergreen launches over 3 months to the take the course off the market launch, we did 1.1 million in 8 months with only one course. Do you guys see how powerful this is? Do you see how you could take one course and launch in different ways over time without really having to do much work and continuously be adding revenue into your business? This is what people don't think about. This is what they don't understand. They think, oh, I can only launch once a year, or like once I launch, I then have to upsell them or downsell them. No, like you could take the same thing you already have that's already been successful and just repackage it or offer it in other ways or offer it to new people that haven't seen it yet without having to do much work and still have this consistent stream of revenue growth coming into your business. Pretty cool, right? So again, I want to move on to launch hack number 2, perceived customization. We're going to try and get through these a little bit faster. But as I mentioned, perceived customization comes from Ryan Levesque's ASK method. So it's the ability to personalize the launch experience in your launch by allowing the avatar to self-identify with which of your avatars they are. So remember, I showed you guys this example where before they opt in, they get to select which of your avatars they are, and then you're able to tag them in either Actionetics, Infusionsoft, whatever your marketing automation campaign is, and then put them through a unique sequence, which you can then use these multiple elements of perceived customization in your launch. So some of these elements of perceived customization include the first example I showed you guys of pre-framing them with a unique intro video, 1 to 3 minute video where you call the avatar out and tell them what to look for when they get to your main 4-part video series. So that way each avatar thinks in their mind, because you pre-frame them correctly just by showing them unique 1 to 3 minute video, that this workshop is exactly for them and their specific situation. Does that make sense? Then a really cool thing you can do is, because you tagged them correctly, you can send them a few unique email headlines or specific parts of the email copy in your email sequence of your launch can be unique to them and their avatar and their specific situation. So again, I'm not saying write totally unique email sequences from start to finish of the launch. All I'm saying is that elements of the sequence can be specific to that avatar, being a beginner, being an expert, having what are their false beliefs, what are their desires, what are the outcomes they want. You can call these things out because they've self-identified with who they are. They've told you what their struggles are, what they're going through. And you know, if they're avatar 1, if they're a beginner, they most likely have characteristics A, B, and C, right? So again, you need to do the research on your avatar to know what the pain points are, what their desired outcomes are before the launch. That way you can speak to them in their specific situation during the launch. 2 more elements that I love to use about perceived customization relating to that specific avatar, and I'll go through this in more detail when we get to the open cart phase, but in the open cart phase, you can show unique avatar specific success stories and avatar specific bonuses to that avatar based on which avatar they selected. So again, if I'm a beginner and you show me a success story of an expert, I'm not going to relate. I'm going to say, nope, not possible. That guy's not like me. This doesn't make any sense. It's a different industry. It's a different niche, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've seen people show you success stories where you're like, well, that's not me. Well, that can't work in my industry. It can't work in my niche. It can't work for people on my skill level, right? This is something that so many launchers and experts struggle with. They think just because they have the success stories, they're going to have the customers, but that's wrong. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is how we use the launch hacks to go to the next level, to get inside the minds of our customers and show them how much we really understand them by allowing them to tell us who they are so that we can show them, okay, if you were someone like, look here on Jeff's, he said, I'm just starting out and I haven't sold anything online. So if I know that you're someone who's just starting out and haven't sold anything online, I'm only going to show you success story videos of people who were beginners when they came in, who were just starting out, who I helped achieve a specific result. That way, when you see the beginner success stories, you're going to think, oh my God, those people are just like me. They were in my specific situation. I'm a beginner. I'm just starting out. I have not achieved these results. They were beginners. They were just starting out. Now they have the results I want. This is the perfect program for me. Does that make sense? Same thing. If you are an expert and you're coming in, like if you see a beginner success story, you're going to think, oh, I'm too cool for this. Like I'm beyond this. I'm too successful. This guy only works with beginners, right? I'm sure there's a bunch of you like that have not bought products because you thought like you're too advanced for it, right? So if you're an expert, I'm only going to show you expert-specific videos. Does that make sense, guys? I'm sure you can see how powerful that one tweak in your launch could make you so that you use this element of perceived customization so that your customers understand exactly who you are and exactly that your process and system can work for them in their specific situation. Okay, launch hack number 3. So the biggest thing that I found really that keeps the launchers that are doing well, that are making a living from this, that have a successful online business, in the top launchers in the world, is the top launchers in the world have armies of the right joint venture partners. And not just armies, like I said, the right people, right? The people that have influence in their space, the people that have the same market they do. You know, maybe they're friends, maybe they're colleagues, maybe they're indirect competitors. They sell different products to the same customers. You know, maybe they have different market segments in the same industry, right? Like you need to find who are the top people, not just in your space, but in other relevant markets to you, and reach out to them and develop a relationship with them so that they're going to want to promote for your offer. A big thing too, so we use I'm sure if you've studied Russell Brunson, you've heard of the Dream 100. So pretty much the concept behind the Dream 100 is write down who your top 100 partners are. And I take this a step further because some people are influencers or authorities on one social channel, but not on all of them. Or some people have huge influence on their email list, but not on their social media following, right? So I make lists like per social channel, or people that have like big email lists or Facebook groups, whatever it is. Like identify the right Dream 100 partners who are people that are perfect for working with you. Reach out to them, see if you can develop a relationship, add value. We talk about in the Dream 100 sending like a really cool, unique direct mail package that's themed around what your launch is going to be themed around. So for example, in Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets launch of his book, he wanted this whole concept of, you know, how we're the Avengers and like us joint venture partners, like we're avenging against, you know, to help it save entrepreneurs like all over the world, right? And he sent like an adventure themed box, and then like the top 10 joint venture partners who promoted this launch got a real life size superhero outfit, whether it was like Batman or Superman or Flash, you know, all these like really cool themed things. But whatever it is, like use the Dream 100 to recruit these joint venture partners. And then once you have them in, use joint venture contests in your launch to increase the promotion and the incentives that you're giving your joint venture partners to promote for you, right? So a big way we do this is through gamification and through leaderboards. So some people just say like, hey, JV's like the launch is going to go live soon. Like, hey, JV's, the launch is live. Like, please email. And then joint venture partners don't email, and then your joint venture launch is dead, and the joint venture partner thinks your product sucks and your market sucks, and they'll never want to promote you again, right? Like, that's the worst thing. Like, so many times when you're using joint venture partners is that you never get a second chance to make your first impression, right? So if that's the case, you need to make sure that you're incentivizing, you're compelling the joint venture partners to promote for your launch from the start all the way to the finish, because it's way more important for them to promote in the finish at the end in the open cart sequence to push sales through almost than it is in the beginning. But what ends up happening is the joint venture partners they'll promote at the beginning and they'll think like, okay, like I'm good. I sent the leads in. He can take care of the rest. Like, no, you need to be incentivizing them, gamifying the joint venture contest and sending out leaderboards, right? So what do I mean by gamification and gamifying this process, right? So what I mean by that is you have contests where you award your joint venture partners with cash prizes for how many leads they're sending for each of the videos in the pre-launch content sequence. So, for example, Whoever sends the most leads to video one gets $500 or $5,000, like whatever it is, right? Then how many, whoever gets second, third, fourth, fifth, like gets these prizes, right? So you want to be consistently updating people as long as video one is being promoted, what the leaderboard is, who's winning that joint venture contest, and so on and so forth. And then the big prizes you want to award, you then want to have a separate contest for who's driving the most sales, right? Because some partners might be able to drive leads, however, because they have the biggest email list or social following, but some people that have smaller email lists or social media following, they might have the most engaged audience, right? And their engaged audience, because they can offer the best bonuses, or they've done the best relationship building with their audience, where the audience knows, hey, if this expert who I know, like, and trust and love says I need to buy this product and they're going to give me these other bonuses or do this other thing for me if I buy, I'm going to buy, right? So there's a difference between driving leads and driving sales. So make sure you're having different contests. So Dream 100 campaign, the recruit joint venture partners, joint venture contests, the gamification and leaderboards to incentivize your joint venture partners to promote during the beginning of your launch, the middle of your launch, and the end of your launch to make sure you're getting leads in the beginning and sales at the end. Number 4 is, launch hack number 4 is the Jedi joint venture Facebook ad strategy. So many people, right, they will run ads during the launch, right? And when they run ads during the launch, they're trying to target the audience and the visitors of their joint venture partners. The problem, and that's a great strategy, right? It's a great strategy. The problem with this is that just like you're asking your joint venture partners to email or post on social media that their audience should subscribe, join the free launch workshop, and buy your product, just because they're going to have more clout, credibility, and authority by telling their audience to do that than you will. The same thing, the same principle exists in your ads. So what we do with the Jedi JV Facebook ad strategy is we reach out to our top joint venture partners and we say, hey, partner Johnny, I would love to have you share admin rights to your Facebook ad account, and we will use our own budget to promote our ads for our launch to your lookalike audiences, to your retargeting audiences, to your email list that has been uploaded to of the live launch workshop to create a new lookalike audience. And we will show your audience ads from you about our launch. Does that make sense, guys? So how much more powerful do you think it is to the joint venture partners audience if they see their expert who they're following, who's promoting your launch, telling you to click on the ad to go to your launch, than you running an ad telling them to click on to go to their launch? Do you guys see how that one launch hack alone could drive tens, hundreds, thousands of more visitors to your launch that can lead to more customers, right? So this is, again, just like a really cool strategy, this Jedi JV Facebook ad strategy that can work amazingly in your launch. All right, launch hack number 5. So I'm so big about systems, guys. So very detail oriented, very analytical background. And what I found from doing these launches and really anything that you're launching is there's so many individual action items that need to be done from start to finish. But a lot of these action items are repeatable. And if something's repeatable, it's teachable to someone else on your team. And if it's teachable to someone else on your team, it requires a system to walk them through that process step by step. So we'll use project management systems like Basecamp, or I use Trello now, to document all of the action items that create the overall milestones and deadlines of our overall product launch system. So what the system does, it allows anyone to come in and learn how it works, what steps are involved to achieve the result you need to get success in any launch in any industry to be possible. So I'm going to show you guys, a lot of people think hey, this is all great and good, but it's not something that would work for me in my specific situation. It's not something that would work for my industry. So I want to show you guys, outside of my clients who teach online poker players how to play poker more successfully, and make a career out of playing poker online and offline, some other experts in some other industries and some totally unrelated niches, that because we had the system dialed in, it worked for them as well. So the first one was Natalie Hodson. So Natalie is a mother of 2, who's a mom blogger. She's a fitness and nutrition expert, teaches women about fitness and nutrition. Most recently, she has a new ebook bundle that she came out with that teaches pregnant moms about how to stay fit and healthy during their pregnancy in all 3 trimesters, and then in the postpartum trimester, fourth trimester out after pregnancy is over. So she came to me and said, "Hey Jeff, I love what you're doing around these product launches. To be honest, it kind of seems like a lot of work. I don't like doing a lot of work. However, I've been adding great value doing Facebook Lives in this really engaged Facebook group, and I want to do a launch, and I need your help. So how can you help me? Like, what do you think I should do?" So I said, "Natalie, that's awesome. Like, what you're doing is great. I totally love what you're doing. I totally believe in you." She said, "Yeah, I know. That sounds great, right? But like, how do I do the least amount of work, but get the biggest result?" And I said, "Okay, Natalie, listen, here's what you're going to do. Instead of making these pre-recorded 4-part video series, videos and hosting them on a ClickFunnels product launch funnel and taking your audience through this whole process, I'm going to give you the scripts, the outlines of what you should say, how you should say it, and you'll fill in the gaps of the education, value, and storytelling you'll give. And you're just going to do these videos live through Facebook Live within your Facebook group. And you don't have to do much to prepare. Just create the outlines. You know how to talk to them. You know the stories to tell. You've told them before. And just take them through the same product launch process step by step, but do it on lives in Facebook Live format the exact same way I'm here with you guys today, streaming this into this Facebook group, right? So she's like, "Oh my God, I love this. This is amazing. I could totally do that. No problem, no sweat. I'm already used to going live all the time. I got this down. I can jam with this. I can rock with this. Let's go. Let's do it." So lo and behold, Natalie started doing the same 4-part video series I walked you guys through, but in Facebook Live format into her Facebook group. And then at the end, in the 4th video, made an offer to her $97 ebook bundle. And in 10 days, 1,000 people bought. She made $100,000 in 10 days. Is that amazing or what? So again, guys, it's like the system is the system, but the system can be architected and crafted to have the same main pillars and concepts in the large launch to scale down to these smaller launches to be done in live launch format. If you have things like an engaged community on a specific social channel like Natalie did. The really cool thing too is that, you can use the social elements and components of Facebook. So one thing we did was she said, "Hey, if you want, get this bonus by tagging 2 friends in the comments of this video." So what's the one thing, who are the one group of friends that pregnant moms have? Other pregnant moms, right? So it went totally viral in this organic referral chain of people just tagging their other pregnant mom friends in the comments of these videos started just taking off, and it was really successful. So that's just one example, but you guys can see how it can really work. I know someone else in the group was asking about physical products, right? Or, brick and mortar launches. So one really cool thing I did was I partnered with a new craft brewery and craft beer called Town Park Brew that was launching a brick and mortar brewery in Anaheim, California. And they said "Hey, your online launches look great, but we need to sell more beer. We need to get beer in hand to real people in our brick and mortar. We need people coming to the brewery. So how do we take the same launch process that you're really good at to get people coming to the brewery?" So again, we did a sequence of Facebook Lives of educating, storytelling videos, showing people behind the scenes of the brewery being created, going from dirt on the ground construction zone to this beautifully crafted brewery like you guys can see out here, getting people involved in the process from start to finish so they feel like they're a part of it, right? That's why Kickstarter campaigns those types of launches are so successful, because you get these backers that are almost like angel investors or venture capitalists coming in the ground floor of these products to fund the manufacturing budget that it's going to require to then manufacture the product, so that you then are invested early and then you get your product once it's delivered and made later. So these people felt the same way, right? So we incentivize them to be a part of the process, a part of the story of the brewery being created, and then we incentivize them with discounts on beer or getting our merchandise and swag from the website. People wanted to become a part of the culture of the brewery being made. They wanted to become a part of the brand. They didn't the beer is amazing, but people weren't really tasting the beer at the brewery. They were in restaurants in Orange County around, but they weren't tasting beer at the brewery until the brewery was made. So the point was getting people involved in the culture and the story so that they could tell their friends "Hey, this brewery, Town Park, had been following for 3 months through their pre-launch content videos is opening. Like, I feel connected to it. I've already bought the swag. Like, let's go, let's check it out. And they did $40,000 in 4 days in their opening brewery launch. So pretty amazing, right? Same process, same system, different industry, different niche, nothing to do with like online launches, but because the system is the same, it works. Another guy was Joshua Latimer of Sengym. So Josh has this home services marketing company where he helps home services companies like pool guys to carpet cleaners to plumbers to guys that do like window installs, like any home service business, window cleaning, painters, any home service business you need, like he teaches them how to do marketing and acquire local leads. So I sat down with Josh and he was pretty much telling me this launch he was going to do, was going to go out to joint venture partners and it was going to be really great. And I was like, whoa, Josh, hold on. You're getting way ahead of yourself here. Like, you need to understand that your joint venture partners are not going to want to promote for you until they have a relationship with you, they understand who you are, they know you, they like you, they trust you, and you can show them results. So let's do an internal launch first, do internal email list, internal social media following, get the results, and then we can take those results to the joint venture partners and take this launch on the road. So Josh was like, of course, that makes so much sense. Like, why didn't I think of that earlier? Like, that's brilliant. So he did this internal launch, and because he was able to successfully educate, add value, deliver results on the internal launch for the home service clients on his email list and social media following, and add new people in to join them with the first free launch workshop he's done, he was then able to make $70,000 in 7 days from his first launch. You guys getting this? Like, don't you see how some of this can work in your business? Don't you see how you can use some of these launch hacks tomorrow in your business, right? Pretty cool. Again, the system, the process, the individual action items. If you follow the system, it doesn't matter what type of expert you are, if you're a beginner, if you're an expert, what industry, what niche you're in, the system works. All you have to do is follow the system. Launch hack number 6. So, guys, everyone that's selling products online, whether it's webinars or 4-part video series, video sales letters, funnels, they're all just trying to convert the sale through the form, through the video, through the webinar. And they let the chips fall where they will. They leave it all on the floor. But I say, if you only convert 1% to 5%, maybe if you're really good, you get 10%, maybe even 20% of the people that go through your launch to buy. Say you're great, right? And you get 10%, 20%, which is super, super high. There's still 80%, 90% of the people that went through your launch that didn't buy, right? So I've always been a big believer of seeing the results and the proof in the pudding that people are the warmest at live events. People the second warmest on the phone, and they're then the third warmest on a live webinar and a live launch, right? So I often take this concept and understand if I might not be able to invite people live in person during a live workshop, but I can definitely get them live on the phone. But I don't want to be the one live on the phone with every single person on my webinar coming through my launch. So what I do is I hire highly trained and skilled sales closers that if you guys are looking for a sales closer, just feel free to like message Akbar or message me, or give me your contact info. I know networks of sales closers where what you do is you bring them in and you'll train them on your product, your service, your system, your business. They'll learn it within weeks, and then they can start closing inbound leads and inbound calls for you over the phone. And specifically in regards to this conversation, people during your launch. So one thing we're doing in the open cart base is we're taking people that are on live chats that are asking questions, and we're saying, hey, I would love to answer your questions in more detail. Could I call you on the phone so I can answer questions that relate to you and your specific situation? People are like, yes, I don't want to waste time. I just want to talk to you and talk this out. So bringing on sales closers to cold close leads, every time we've done it in a launch has resulted from anywhere from like 10 to 30% more sales. Guys, this one launch hack out of all the launch hacks is something that when we've done it has resulted in 10 to 30% more sales on a digital product. Isn't that amazing? So again, this is something that when I do these digital course and membership site digital content launches, I'm always using sales closers that are trained with the sales principles they need to know to close customers, but they're trained on our product as well. Okay? This frees up the time of the expert and it brings in more sales into the business and makes your launch more successful, right? If you're selling a $9.97 product and you're typically selling, 50 of those to do a $50,000 launch or 100 of those to do a $100,000 launch, let's say it's 50,000. And if this one launch hack added 10% more customers, that would make your launch revenue go from 50,000 to 55,000 in revenue just from this one launch hack alone. And this is easy. This is something that you can do, bring someone on in weeks. Like whether you're doing a webinar or a 4-part video series launch, or you have a high ticket program, a certification program. If you're the expert, you should not be on the phone. You should be doing the things to serve your customers and your community in a way that no one else can, right? So I love that launch hack. I think sales closers are like the way of the future, and a lot more people are going to start using them when they get the insights and the behind the scenes of how much more effective those sales closers are. So guys, I talked about this briefly, like the unique theme of each day of Open Cart for launch hack number 7. So I want to walk you guys through this. So it's pretty much when we open cart and allow the product to be available to purchase during the launch for the first time, we want to have unique themes on each day of Open Cart so that we're increasing the probability of people buying on each day. So if you ask someone to buy on day 1, and then you ask them to buy the same one on day 2 and the same one on day 3, your message, it's old, it's saturated. People have heard the same thing. You can't keep saying the same thing. You need to understand there's a reason, there's objections that exist in their head for why they haven't purchased yet. If you're telling them to buy the same thing in the same way, you're not crushing those objections. You're not answering the objections in a unique, compelling way that's making them buy. Right? Like I always say, what's the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So don't be insane during your launch and ask people to buy the same thing in the same way. You need to be unique. You need to be creative. I never tell people to buy the same thing in the same way more than one day in the launch, because if they liked what I had to say in that first day, they would have bought. If they didn't, there's a reason they didn't buy, and I need to crush that objection or find out what that reason is, or make the offer sweeter, incentivize them further, right? So here's some examples of different themes you can have on the 5 days of your Open Cart. I love 5 days. I love opening cart Monday, closing cart Friday. 7 days during the launch works. I think anything after 7, it's really hard to keep momentum going with people's attention spans, being what they are today. I mean, if you want to do 9, you can try it. I like doing 5. I think the most I would do is 7. And 7's the most I've done in my launch. Natalie wanted to do 10 because she wanted to do, it's a $97 product, so it's like a lower barrier to entry to buy. So that 10 day was probably the longest I've done. But I digress. Anyway, day 1. So day 1, the theme of day 1 is go, go, go. So one thing that's unique to me in my product launch process is I always say there's customers that will buy in your 4-part video series, watching the sales video. Then there's customers that love buying on a webinar, going through your PowerPoint slides just like this. And then if I were to make an offer at the end of this, seeing that offer and then buying, right? Lucky for you guys, it's an all value, no pitch webinar. But because there's people that buy on a webinar and there's people that buy on a 4-part video series, if you only do a 4-part video series, or if you only do a webinar, you're automatically excluding that audience that likes buying on either a 4-part video series or webinar. Does that make sense, guys? So the reason that most people mess this up is because they say, well, I'm more comfortable doing webinars like I'm doing now. Or, hey, I'm more comfortable on camera. I don't like going through slides. Like, I'm a good-looking, highly personable person. I like doing stuff live. I like being on video. Like, I prefer live launches or pre-recorded videos, right? So, they make that decision based on what they're best at or what they're most comfortable doing. But that's a flawed decision because you're not taking into account the buying behaviors of the people that are coming on your launch. Does that make sense, guys? So what I do is for every single launch I do now, and the way I teach is I teach to do the 4-part video series, to first send people through either the first 3 or the first 4 videos in the 4-part video series, and then on day 1 doing a webinar, where we call it the live training. Invite people on a live training to take them through a webinar in PowerPoint format and then make the offer available for the first time on the webinar. Do you guys see? And then through different days in the open cart sequence, sending the replay, quote unquote, which is the sales video in the 4-part video series, to them throughout the open cart sequence. So you can also do multiple webinars on multiple days. I'll talk about that as well. But again, what makes my process unique is because I've taken what works for people in like Akbar and myself and Russell Brunson's in the ClickFunnels community, where everyone talks about webinars and how successful webinars are. And I've taken everything I've learned from Jeff Walker and being in his coaching program and 4-part video series and how those work and how, you can add more value and it's longer and it's more compelling and people get more engaged. Well, both are right. Both are pros. But why is no one talking about the importance of doing both? That's where I come in. That's how I bridge the gap between these two communities, between these two cultures of selling products and information online. And I always, like, my system now is take the best of both worlds, put them together into one launch system so it can be successful. So day one, go. I do a fast action bonus at the end of this webinar. So you say, hey, guys, here's the deal. You go through the origin story, 3 sequence, you do your offer stack, you make the offer available for the first time. And I say, hey, we have a special fast action bonus to the people that want to be the most successful, that know this is right for them in their specific situation, and want to make the investment, the commitment to themselves today that they're going to change their life forever and join the community. So for the first 10 people or 25 people, if you're just starting out, it's probably going to be lower. If you have a big audience and you've done a lot of launches, you can do something like 25. But the fast action bonus, let's say for the first 10 people, is you're going to get a personal one-on-one call with me where we map out the value ladder of your business, or the next 30 days so that you can do your first launch, right? Something compelling where they get one-on-one interaction time with you, I think, as the expert, is the most compelling thing to offer in a fast action bonus. But again, you can request, or you can offer anything as the fast action bonus, but make them buy before that webinar is over. Like, make them buy before the Q&A is done to get this fast action bonus. And the first 10 people, 25 people that buy get it. So day number 2, I always say that the 4-part video series is like the beautiful red Ferrari on the Ferrari lot. Like, it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's shining, you see it, you want to touch it, you want to test drive it, you go up to it, it's glowing at you, it's saying buy me. Like, you could totally buy the Ferrari just by looking at it staring on the lot. And then the perfect webinar is kind of like the good-looking, suave car salesman who comes in that shakes your hand, establishes the relationship, the connection with you, takes you on that test drive, makes you feel comfortable, asks you some questions about who you are, what you're looking for, so you guys can kind of like establish that rapport, be friends, and then they negotiate the deal with you and close you, right? So if the 4-part video series is like the Ferrari in the lot, and the perfect webinar is like the sales closure that comes in and closes you, then the behind the scenes of the course or membership site on the Facebook Live is like that, the cover of that Ferrari getting pulled off for the first time. It becomes real. You finally get to see it. You finally get to see what the hype has been about in this launch that you've taken them through for the first time. So this is, typically I'll do this on like a Facebook Live, and I'll share my screen with them, and I'll say, hey, this is what the members area looks like. In my case, I deliver digital content through video format and a written newsletter. So I say, like, scroll through some pages in the newsletter. Like, this is a normal edition of the newsletter. This is what it looks like. Here's some of the videos you get. I deliver 4 hours of video content, 15 different videos every month. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is so much content. This is going to be great. Like, and action items, videos and audio. Like, wow them. Like, show them what is behind door number 1, right? Like, make it become real for the first time. So the behind the scenes of the course on Facebook Live is great. Day 3, I always do more webinars. So like encores, there's people that didn't make the live webinar. So I'll do encores, either 1 or 2 on day 3, and then I'll do a new unannounced bonus. And the thing when you release new unannounced bonuses later in the open cart period is the unannounced bonus is there to take people who were on the fence and hadn't purchased yet and bring them off the fence. Make them commit. Give them a new reason to buy that you haven't presented them with, that is going to take them on the fence to want to make them buy. And make it so that they have to take action now. don't let it linger. Like, make it so that if they want this unannounced bonus, if they want to change their life, if they want to join the community, they have to take action now before the webinar is over. And then the cool thing is when you do these unannounced bonuses, people often ask like, well, what happens to the people that like bought before? That's not fair. Of course, those people are taken care of. They get those bonuses as well if they've already bought. The key with the bonuses, guys, the key with the bonuses is you wait until your 30-day money back guarantee period has ended to then start dripping out your bonuses. So if you have a course, maybe it's a 6-week masterclass, an 8-week masterclass, you want to take people through your modular system and you just phrase it like, hey guys, I don't want to confuse you or overwhelm you with content by releasing the bonuses. I want you to go through the course first and the initial indoctrination content in the membership community first. So we're going to release the bonuses after the 30-day period. So like as a customer, you think, oh, that makes sense. They're watching out for me. That's great. I don't want to get overwhelmed or confused. But then on the same time, you as the expert in the company giving the product and making these bonuses live, that way you don't get people that are just buying the course and then like keeping the bonuses but canceling within the 30 days, right? So it's a good way to kind of watch your back there and making sure that no one's taking advantage of you. Day 4 is the avatar-specific success stories and avatar-specific bonuses. So I walked through this with you guys a little while ago, but pretty much if someone selected a beginner avatar in the morning of day 4, you're going to send them an email that says, hey, I remember when I was just like you and I was starting out. In fact, I remember when these 3 favorite students of mine were just starting out too, like Jenny, Sarah, and Sam. And I want to show you like their stories and tell you exactly where they were when they were just starting out. So click this link and you can watch their specific success stories here. So you'll let them click a link and that'll take them to a landing page that has beginner specific success stories only. Like you don't want to have, again, as I mentioned, you don't want to have expert success stories on the beginner page. You want to have beginner success stories for the beginner so they think your product and your system is going to work for them in their specific situation. Same thing with expert. If it's an expert, their link is going to take them to a success story page with expert bonuses only, right? Okay, cool. And then day 5, it's the final day of open cart. Hit home with urgency and scarcity. Give them fear of missing out. Tell them about all the thing that's already happening in the community, all the excitement there is. Show them the social proof, like the example of all the people that have joined and tagging those people in the free group so people can see it, right? Like tell people this is your last day for, your life to be changed. Do you want to look back on this moment 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now and think you're in the same exact position in your life and in your business because you did not take action today, right? All these things about making them commit, make the investment, make the decision so that they can join you and change their life and change their business. You really need that conviction and belief in what you're selling so that people on the other end of this have the conviction and belief in you as well. And I think a big thing here is I always love to do like a Facebook Live of kind of like a summary page or a Q&A here so that you can answer any final questions or solve any final problems, crush any final objections that you have. That way you can really hit home with urgency and scarcity hard on this final day. So guys, those are the 5 days, 5 main things of the 5 days of open cart. And that's really like, I look at open cart as almost a second launch. It's almost like a launch within a launch because each day is like its own theme. It's super important. But you can see how each day, like I presented them something new, something unique that they haven't seen before, right? And then this is kind of just a quick screenshot of how we did like a behind the scenes reveal. You can see like they're doing a Facebook Live. They're showing the course on the screen. We're getting people to like ask questions and then we pin the comment that takes them to the sales page to buy. So if people are going through this and it makes them want to buy, it's right there. It's a really quick and easy call to action. All right, guys, so I think we're only going to have time for 10 launch hacks. So I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as we can just because I want to save time for Q&A to really answer your guys' questions and really get in deep to you in your specific situation and reward the people with this free gift I have and to answer your questions on them. So launch hack number 8. So break false beliefs and create new beliefs using unique blue ocean and mass movement strategies. So one example we did this on our most recent launch is one of my amazing friends and clients who's also in the inner circle with myself and Akbar. His name is Brian Burt. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Amazon just came out with this new platform called Merch by Amazon, where for the first time ever, you can start your own merchandise business without having to invest in a screen printing shop or order in bulk or have a customer service by using the Amazon Prime platform and the Merch by Amazon platform. So pretty much Amazon allows you to upload designs into this platform, sell your t-shirts or your swag to people that are searching on Amazon and people in the Amazon network. And essentially their promise is that you are able to do this by uploading your t-shirt designs, selling it to anyone within Amazon, and then Amazon will handle the entire 24/7 customer service, logistics, fulfillment of the business, and there are no order minimum quantities because it's all print on demand. So pretty much it allows you to create this whole entire merchandise business from start to finish without taking any risk and having all the reward if one of your t-shirt designs takes off. So it's a pretty amazing blue ocean industry altering concept. And how they do it is they pretty much pay you a royalty based on every shirt you sell. So say you sell this $20 shirt here, it shows you their estimated royalty is $5.38. So anyway, Brian's one of the top Amazon experts in the world, and he partnered with Chris Green, who's pretty much the top Merch by Amazon expert in the world, which is really crazy because it's such a new platform. Chris Green is one of the few people that has had this insight of Merch by Amazon, has been able to get some amazing people, some success stories already. So they came to me and they said, Jeff, we want to do a huge launch. We want to make people that have never bought anything online or that have always wanted to create t-shirts buy this course for the first time. What are some unique things that we can do? Well, I sat down and I said, okay, well, if we want to make this a mass movement launch, if we want to try and do something that's never been done, we need to create belief. We need to create belief like no one else has been able to create belief before in a launch. You know what I'm saying? And they said, yeah, that's so funny you said that because we had this idea of wearing these t-shirts that says, hey, what's your best t-shirt idea? And going around the streets of Venice and Hollywood Boulevard and asking people for their favorite t-shirt idea. I said, that's it. That's brilliant. That's it. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go around and document the process of taking people from what's your best t-shirt idea on an interview to getting your t-shirt on Merch by Amazon and selling it and making money all within the launch. And we're going to make the pre-launch content videos, a behind-the-scenes process documenting this entire thing from start to finish. And that's how we're going to create belief in a way that's never been created before. So that's exactly what we did, guys. On video one, you can see Chris and Brian here. They went to the beaches of Venice and they interviewed multiple people about what their best t-shirt idea is. This girl, Juliana, I think her name was, she had a really cool t-shirt idea for hashtag she squats. So we took this idea and we said, hey, can we go and put your t-shirt idea on Merch by Amazon? If we make money, we will give the money to you. And she was like, yeah, whatever, guys. If you think you want to do that, great. So we said, okay, awesome. So pretty much then on the rest of the video, we took her idea, we outsourced the design to a designer on Upwork. They sent back this t-shirt design, which is super cool. We put it on this t-shirt, we uploaded it to Merch by Amazon, and that was the end of video one. Pretty much hey, here's the documenting of what we're trying to do. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's the step-by-step process showing you the customer going through the launch of how you upload a shirt to Merch by Amazon to show you how easy it is, to show you what's possible. And then on video two, because video one's the new opportunity video, right? Where we just took them through what the new opportunity is. Video two is the transformation video where we brought on Sharon Watts, Kim Jensen, Ken Reel, past success stories of Chris Green to show them what's possible on Merch by Amazon. And I had all these people tell their stories. We did a little more training. We checked in on how the t-shirt sales were doing. And then video three, we brought it around full circle. We invited Juliana and Lotus back on the trainings for video three. And they were so surprised. We got their phone numbers and we said, hey, Juliana, do you want to come on this video with us so we can tell you about where we're at in the whole Merch by Amazon process selling your shirt? And she said, okay. So Juliana came on the launch, or she came on a Zoom call just like this, where we said, hey, Juliana, it was so funny meeting you. Your idea was so cool. What would you say if we told you that we took your idea, we made a t-shirt design out of it, we uploaded it to Merch by Amazon, we started selling shirts, and we actually sold 25 shirts? Would you believe it? She said, yeah, that's pretty cool. 25 shirts. I think I believe that. They said, well, what if we told you that we actually sold 50 shirts in a week? She said, what? No, I would not believe that. 50 in a week? There's no way. They said, you're right. We actually sold 138 shirts in 1 week, which means your royalty payout on those 38 shirts by Merch by Amazon is $1,254.92, and we're going to send that money to you right now via PayPal. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. How did you guys do that? That's nuts. You're right, Juliana, that is nuts. But what's even more nuts is that we are actually going to give you the keys to a turnkey business that you can now have. That's your t-shirt business running on Merch by Amazon, giving you a business that's cash flowing $1,254 a day from this one t-shirt design alone. Here's your login. We're going to give you the business. Here it is. Oh my God, are you guys crazy? This is insane. I can pay my rent and my car payment just from this alone now. Like, we created belief like it's never created belief before in someone that 2 days ago had no idea who we are, had no idea what Merch by Amazon was, and had no idea that this was possible. Do you guys see like how powerful that is to create belief in a way no one else can, right? And then we did this over and over again with 2 other people. And it was so cool, guys, because they were able to see like what was possible. So when you're doing your launch, think about how can you take people like behind the scenes, document the process, create belief in a way that has never been created before. And then launch hack number 9, I just talked about it, like the big launch debate, the 4-part video series versus the perfect webinar. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we already talked about it. But so many people pick, oh, I need to do the 4-part video series to do a launch, or I need to do the perfect webinar. But I always say, like, the 2 together are so much more powerful than doing them on their own, right? Okay, so launch hack number 10 and the final launch hack until we can get into the Q&A is I always, like, so many people price their courses at $1,000 or $2,000. I always like this really cool launch hack of pricing the course, like the course of the membership site, at a lower price, and then adding upsells in that same launch. So for example, say you're going to sell someone a $2,000 course, right? Or say it was a $997 course. If I sold that course that was easily worth $997, as we did in this case, for $697, you would think that you won over on me. You would think you got a crazy discount. You would think I'm an idiot for selling it to you for so cheap because I just showed you how to make a turnkey business that was generating $1,254 a week for Juliana. Why would you only charge me $697 for that, right? Well, the significance of this is that we got people to think that exact same thing, but after they bought the course for $697, we then upsold them into a continuity program of our monthly Amazon software and said, hey, if you bought this course, you're going to love this Amazon software because it's going to help you run your Amazon business even smoother by being able to send emails and do keyword research and SEO and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to give it to you for 3 months free if you subscribe to the software. So now we got people subscribed to the software and being monthly members of our continuity program just because we lowered the price of the course and took people through a quick one-click upsell, right? And then we went even further and we said, hey, if you really loved the course, but you thought, hey, it'd be so great to like look over the shoulder of a coach and really understand, this is my first time selling things online. Like, I really want to go through this with the coach and really learn the behind the scenes secrets. If that's someone that's like you and you thought that, then you're going to love our coaching program. Well, if you think you're really going to love our coaching program and want to join it, please fill out the application here and put down a deposit to talk to someone on our team about joining the coaching program. And then on the phone, we upsold them into a $1,500 a month coaching program. Do you guys see how easy that is? Like how most people, they're stopping selling the course when they do a launch. But when I launch, I always say your customer most likely is never going to be as warm. You're never going to have as much built up goodwill and value established with them as you do during that live launch and right after. So adding in upsells to your launch is the best way to increase the average cart value of your customer and to send people into your higher ticket programs, right? Like you can immediately do it. So this is just a breakdown of, we immediately opened cart in our perfect webinar on day one and made over $100,000 in the perfect webinar on day one. And the reason I'm sharing you this isn't for the total gross revenue number here of the $105,000 in an hour of the perfect webinar alone. I want to show you guys this right here about the order page and VIP upsell. So 44.7% of the people that bought the course added, 76% of the people added the software as an upsell. And then out of those people, 86.57% of those people filled out the coaching application. Guys, 87% of the people that bought the course and opted in filled out the coaching application. Like, that's insane. That's insane. So if we just said, hey, let's only try to sell them like a $2,000 course and that's it, we would have made way less revenue and had way less of an impact in their life and in their business instead of trying to upsell them into our coaching program right away. And we ended up doing about, when the whole launch was said and done, we ended up doing a little over $600,000 from the 697 course sales. But in the end of it, when you added up all of the course sales, all of the upsells from the software, and all of the people that we ascended into our coaching program, just from the first month of coaching, like that's because we don't know, hey, if they're signing up for a $1,500 a month coaching program, are they going to be there for a month? Are they going to be there for 3 months, for 6 months, for 12 months? That's just data that we didn't have. So once we got all the people in to subscribe and sign up for the monthly coaching, we got all those customers, total revenue, $1.1 million in 7 days. 7-figure launch, $1.1 million in 7 days. And almost half or more than half of that came from the upsells. Like, do you guys see how this one launch hack alone, implementing this one launch hack alone of adding upsells after they purchase your course or membership site in your launch can drastically increase the momentum, the revenue you bring in your business, and the impact you have on your customers' businesses and their life? Is that amazing or what? All right, awesome, guys. So we've been on for a while now, so I hope you guys have gotten a lot of great value from that. Unfortunately, I had some more launch hacks for you guys. I don't know if we have enough time for it because, like I said, I really want to try and hit your questions and answer some questions that some people in the community had. But again, guys, the same process and system has allowed me in the last 12 months to implement 10 launches, some of which I've shared with you that made over $3 million in live launch revenue alone, not counting joint venture after, not counting evergreen or upsells to new products. So it's pretty awesome. Like, you guys can see how powerful this is from doing product launches and implementing these product launches into your business successfully. Using all of these launch hacks or just one of these launch hacks, I promise, think about these 10 launch hacks and think about how you can implement them into your business tomorrow, in a month, in a few months from now. Like, implement these right away and you will get results. I promise you. I'm not here trying to give you a full course because that's a lot of information. I'm here to give you these launch hacks so you could look at it and say, what can I implement in my business right away so you can get the most value you possibly can out of this training, all right? So just kind of a brief run through of like how I'm taking these launch hacks and providing value every month is I have this membership community launch hacker lab where pretty much, it's kind of like Funnel You for product launches where I'm, showing like the behind the scenes of these product launchers like Stu McClure and Ryan Levesque, who are making more than $3.5 million in 5 days. People like Jeff Walker and Todd Brown, who are also doing like multi-million dollars launches in 5 days. Jeff just finished his first ever live launch. And I believe, I don't know the exact numbers yet because I haven't talked to them. I'm going to talk to them in a week. But he said on day 4, he had over 2,000 people at a $2,000 course sign up, which is over $4 million in a week. So these are the launches I'm going behind the scenes, like studying. So a lot of this stuff, I've seen these guys doing, but they're not teaching it. So someone has to. So that's why I love coming in like behind the scenes, taking what's working, implementing it into a process and system that can then be repeatable from you guys and the rest of the community, and breaking it down into like playbooks and actionable items and like looking at all these things from What are they doing on social media? What's the launch timeline? What do their launch funnels look like? What are they posting in their Facebook group? Taking screenshots and recording the videos of their Facebook ads, swiping the email copy from their email sequences, recording their videos, and then downloading and transcribing the videos and studying those transcriptions into video, written, audio format, and then making notes on the whole entire system from start to finish, guys. Like, this is not just some like hocus pocus, I watched like one launch thing. This is like years of studying these launches for like tens, hundreds of hours at a time. So I hope you guys really appreciate some of the launch hacks I brought to you. And then again, like taking the launch hacks and then putting it into these like step-by-step action item systems and sequences is like where it really gets to the next level. And again, it's all about taking the launch hacks, implementing it into like repeatable step-by-step systems so that you guys can do your very next launch. So I'm talking to Akbar. I wanted to offer some value you guys could take with you, not just on the training we've been together for an hour and 40 minutes on already. I wanted to give you guys some more value. So I have this really cool free gift where that poker launch that I was taking you guys through, where we made $305,000 in 5 days and then went on to make over 1.1 million on in 8 months. I pretty much did a behind the scenes tactical breakdown of every single thing we did in that launch step by step. And I created an entire launch swipe file out of it to show you guys exactly what we did in the launch, how we did it step by step, everything in the behind the scenes of the launch. I show you like how we did one of our Facebook ads. I break down like our entire quick email sequence. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff on here. So I want to send you guys this gift for free. Unfortunately, it is I don't want it to be like in a PDF everywhere online because it is some next level stuff. So I do put it in this DVD case and I send it to you in a USB format. You just plug into your computer and upload, and you get this really cool deck and some cool videos. And you really just get to get the whole behind the scenes. It's totally free. All that I ask is you guys cover like $7.95 for shipping. Like, I don't make anything on it. It's just for me to send it to you. And what you'll see, so like I give that the launch swipe file for free, right? So that's your guys' gift for free. So what you'll see in it when you go through it is I have like a series of upsells where I take you through the deck of this swipe file step by step in video training format of about 4 hours of me going through videos, 15 videos of you, like pretty much my analysis of what we did in the launch and why we did it. Some just really cool, like it's like a behind the scenes of a behind the scenes. It's really cool. It's really next level. It's like a full in-depth training on its own. So I normally charge for that. If you guys email me at my email at jeff@digitalmedia.com and just say, hey, I got the free swipe file. Here's the receipt. I'm in the 7-figure family with Akbar. Don't buy those trainings, but email me and I will give your email free access to those paid trainings. All right? You guys like that? Put a like, put a heart in there. It's something I never give away for free. It definitely has to be our little secret because I wouldn't want any of my paid members to get mad at me for doing that. But because I love Akbar so much, he's such an amazing guy. I love what he's doing for this world. I love what he's doing for this community. I wanted to really do something really cool, really unique that I've never done before and give you guys this extra training. Because what happens every time, guys, I've done this a few times, what happens every time is that a bunch of you will direct message me on email or Facebook and say like, hey, that was such a cool training. Like, do you have more information or how do I learn more? So instead of me not, I'm actually in the middle of getting ready for a launch myself. So instead of me, not responding or not seeing your message and missing it, I just want to put that on the table right now that if you want more information, if you want more training, that is the best, easiest way to get a free training. Get the free plus shipping swipe file. Send me an email at jeff@digitalmedia.com and say, hey, this is my name. I'm with Akbar. I got the free training. And can you please send me access to the rest of the trainings? I'm part of the 7-figure family. Boom, I'll have my assistant or I'll review it and we'll give you guys access right away. And then again, a really cool thing I'm doing is I'm actually, it's been months in the making. I'm in the middle of putting together my best product launch training. If you guys loved what you've seen today, you're absolutely going to go crazy for this product launch training I'm putting together now. It's my best free launch workshop I've ever put together, and that's going live on November 1st. So there's a lot of people that will get a lot of information from this. There's a lot of people that will take some of the launch hacks I reviewed with you and implement those in their business right away. But there's some people that want to just like go deep and learn more about the whole launch process, or like how they can get launched real, like in the next 30 days or 45 days. So if that's you and you're kind of looking of like, hey, all these launch hacks were awesome, but I kind of want more of the insights into these top marketers' launches and more launch hacks, like you were saying, or just I want to figure out how I can do launch quickly on my own. This free launch workshop I'm putting together would be the best thing for you guys to check out. Just go to mylaunchworkshop.com. Again, mylaunchworkshop.com, super easy URL, and just pre-register there. And I promise you guys will be super fired up with that free training. It's going to be super badass training. Like I said, it's the best one I've done so far. So I want to get into the final segment of today with the questions. Akbar, I'd love to invite you to come on and, maybe if there's some questions that you want to field from the Facebook groups and ask them, that would be great. I'll start us off by going through some of the questions that some of the members in the group posted to start us off. And then, like I said, any of you guys that are on live right now have any questions, please just put them in the comments of this thread of the Facebook Live, and Akbar will see them, or I'll see them, and then we will get them answered for you right away. But again, I'm going to start off with some of the questions here, and again, I invite you guys.
Yeah, no, totally. Jeff, I'm here, man, and my God, I just want to quickly say before you get into that, and I really mean this, and I'm sure you could, you're going to be too modest to agree with me, but honestly, if people implement what they've just learned here, it's literally worth what they've paid for this entire year program. And then some. Like, it is of that value. And I'm kind of sitting at it looking, because I've seen this stuff happen from behind the scenes. And, dude, and I just want to let everyone know here in the family that Jeff just, like, straight up just showed you, like, behind the scenes. Like, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So it's like, the amount of value is crazy. I'm flabbergasted. I really appreciate it, Jeff, man. And I just really, really, really hope that you guys implement even some of this stuff, and you're going to see tremendous results. So thanks so much, Jeff. Looking forward to some of these questions. And guys, if you have any additional questions that you didn't ask on the post earlier, just add it right to the chat right now. We can all see it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we've got a question right here. But yeah, go ahead, Jeff. I am seriously indebted to you, and I owe you a big one.
Awesome, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it as always. And like I said, it's great to be here with your community, and I'd do anything for you. So thank you.
Thanks,
so yeah, let's start off with Goosen had some awesome questions here that I definitely want to get answered for him and for you guys. Let me close this real quickly. So he said, I've seen a bunch of live 7-day launches, and then I've seen the evergreen webinars that do quote unquote fake launches and have email sequences close to the launch for each individual in the funnel. Like, which one do you prefer and why? So I think it's a great question. I think the biggest mistake I see launchers make is they want to board like that catamaran and sip on that Mai Tai like as quickly as possible. And honestly, guys, that's like the worst mindset you can have as an entrepreneur, is like if you're starting your business online, like to retire as quickly as possible. Like I get why you would think that, but honestly, the people that are going to be the most successful in the entrepreneurship space and really change the world are the people that are working the hardest. They're committed to serving their customer and like adding the most value and delivering for that customer like day in and day out. Like, those are the people that are going to survive the algorithm updates, like that are going to get through the tough times. Like, if you're just trying to go and what I'm tying this into is like so many people are just trying to do an evergreen launch right away so they can have an automated launch. And like, in theory, evergreen is great, but the problem that people make is that they try to go evergreen out of the gate, and that's incorrect. Like, sure, there are definitely some diamonds in the rough. Some, like, if you guys have seen like Dan Henry, he's someone that launched a webinar, went evergreen, and like built, multi-million-dollar business around that. Like, that's good for him. Like, that's great. That worked for him. On the contrary of that, would say I believe that business could already be an 8-figure business if he did live launches before going evergreen, right? So there's like, he'll say, well, hey, like I'm one of the top marketers there is. Like I've done, 3 million in like 2 years, or 4 million in 2 years, just doing evergreen. And like it works for me. So like that's great if it works for you and like your lifestyle. But I think by going evergreen too quickly, you're not serving your audience in the best way, and you're not creating the most momentum and revenue in your business. So I always say do live first, and then do evergreen after that in between your live launch periods. But do not ever go evergreen out of the gate before live. Like I think that's just a mistake for the most part of people. So again, I prefer live. They definitely both work, but the reason to do live before evergreen is because your conversions decrease when you go from live to evergreen because they're automated. You don't have the live adrenaline, the live momentum. You're only getting notified via email and like retargeting ads. There's no social media. There's no community. There's no social proof at scale engagement. So definitely go live before evergreen first. Question number 2 he had was, I've seen most of these only sell 997 programs. Do you still have an SLO, which means self-liquidating offer up front in the value ladder, or do you only focus on growing an audience and do launches every so often? So that's a great question as well. This is one of those questions where there's no right answer or there's no wrong answer. There's just a preference. So I prefer, and this is kind of the Russell Brunson school of thought. This is what I've learned from him and been taught, and this is what I teach my students as well, is I prefer to build a smaller, warmer, more engaged list of buyers than people that are just building lists of people that are downloading lead magnets and getting freebies only, right? That way you have, when it comes to the time of taking people through your free launch workshop, they're going to be more engaged and they're going to be more willing to pull out their credit card because they've already bought something from you before. Like if you're asking someone to buy a $997 program or a $2,000 program and they've never bought anything from you before, that's going to be difficult. It's a challenge. It's not that it can't be done. It's done all the time. However, I think it's a lot easier to take someone through and make them buy if they've already been ascended through the first step of your value ladder, whether it's a free plus shipping offer or an upsell or an order bump of that free plus shipping offer, or they've come to a live event, or they've done, gone through a virtual summit of yours, like whatever it is. That's why I think it's smart to also do self-liquidating offers, get people to put their credit card down to give you money. That way, intuitively, psychologically, it's not the first time that they're going to buy from you on your launch. So you could say that they're used to buying from you already. That way, when they're seeing launches from other experts in the marketplace and they're on the email list of all these people, the person who's asked them for money before and whose credit card they've taken out to buy something from before is probably the person that has a unique slight advantage on getting them to buy that medium ticket $997 offer. So I hope that helps. Another cool thing too is Molly Kaiser, someone in our inner circle who I helped do a launch for. She teaches photographers how to create a blue ocean in their photography niche by doing boudoir photography. So she has a digital course on that. One unique thing I did on her launch we've never done before is when people opted in to the free launch workshop, before they saw video 1, we gave them a $67 offer. So we gave them a self-liquidating offer in the launch itself. So I really have never seen anyone do that, and I've never even done that outside of that one launch. But it was really cool and unique because we really were just self-liquidating upfront of the ad spend in the launch itself and made like $5,000 just from the people that took that $67 offer. So we pretty much brought in leads into the free launch workshop for free. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So that's something you might want to consider doing as well. And then question 3 here, how many live launches can you do per year without seeming spammy in front of your audience? Yeah, this is a great question. And this is kind of the same answers too, that there's no right way to do this, but there's 2 fruits for thought. So there's people on one side, like my one mentor, Jeff Walker, who he'll do 1 live joint venture launch every year. That's it. He puts his stake in the ground and pretty much takes over the internet because all the top influencers and experts that have the biggest email list and the biggest social media following in the information product in the digital marketing space are promoting for his product launch formula. And like I said, 2 weeks ago, he did his annual launch and he made $4 million in live launch revenue in 5 days, which is crazy, right? And then there's people like Russell Brunson that teaches you, hey, do a webinar once a week, every week live until you make $1 million. And the difference is that Russell says, like, where people get confused is they think, well, why would I keep promoting the same webinar to my list every week? That's going to get spammy. This is where your question is, in turn, not understanding exactly what Russell is saying. What he's saying is you need to be bringing in new blood every week, right? And by new blood, I mean running paid advertising, running influencer marketing, getting new warm leads coming on your list, and then through them coming on your list, taking them through an email sequence or a social media sequence where you're giving them value for 3 or 4 days, and then you're inviting them on that live webinar for that week, and then you're making them an offer to buy your product on the live webinar on Thursday, and then you're closing cart to that offer on Sunday. Maybe you're giving them like an unannounced bonus on Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday, that offer that you gave them on the Thursday webinar is closed. That's it. The buyers will buy. You'll send them through your course or your product. The non-buyers will then go on a new email list that will not see that offer to your weekly webinar again, except you can still do like what we call a broadcast webinar once a quarter to your whole list. Because in truth be told, like, people see so much information every single day. After 3 months, they're probably going to forget what you did on your webinar, how you sold them anyway. So we recommend doing like one broadcast email a quarter to all of the non-buyers. And then there's, specific segments of people in that group that will buy that didn't buy the first time. So again, both are powerful, both work. I think the one thing about the big live JV launch that Jeff does, because of the scale, because of the complexity, because of the amount of partners involved, it's not feasible to do that once a week or once a month. One, because the joint venture partners won't promote for it. Two, because it's just logistically, there's so much more involved than me getting on a webinar like this and being the one person behind my slides. So if you're doing the smaller webinar launch, you could do that at scale consistently, because it's just adds to a webinar, to an email sequence that sends them to register for a webinar, and you just show up for the webinar for 2 hours a week live, and then your team, or you can, send them the replay and then, give them some urgency scarcity emails to buy. So I think just whatever thing you want to do to start. I will say, I always teach people, start with the webinar launch first, so that you know that you have an offer and a webinar that converts before you go to joint venture partners or before you go evergreen. So I talked about in the previous question, like, don't go too early evergreen. Don't go to joint venture partners to promote something for you before you know it converts, because like I said, you never get a second chance to make your first impression. The worst thing you can do is go to a good joint venture partner, establish rapport because you're a great person, they like you, they know you and trust you, promote your offer to their audience, and have it bomb. They're never, like, honestly, they're probably never going to give you a second chance, right? So make sure you're doing the hard work and you're making sure you're tweaking, you're adjusting, you're improving your webinar offer and your launch before you take it evergreen or before you take it to your JV partners. So hope that answered all your questions. Next question was from Mike. Seems like Mike had some experience in launches and like understanding, some of the people in the space, which was awesome. And then he said, how can this work with services and productizing the services? Also curious about the best offers and specifically presenting the offer. So I actually wrote some really cool notes here that I wanted to share. So one of the most recent ways that I think this is like the best way that I've found up until this point to take a service-based business that's offline or that's working with someone one-on-one, or you're doing coaching or consulting or done-for-you services, and then bringing it to an online business and creating a digital product through your launch, right? So the first way, step one, is take your current and past customers and create success story videos from them. And then you're going to take those success story videos and then you're going to market them to people on Facebook ads, Instagram ads, influencer marketing, as well as unique value, free content, whether it's a lead magnet or a free plus shipping offer, add value. And then once you get people on your targeting list, once you add them to your email list, you're then going to add, a little more value for free or on your lower cost products. And then you're going to make them an offer that says, hey, if you want to get the same results that these past students of mine have or clients that have worked with me, I'm hosting a weekend workshop or weekend intensive where I'm going to break down all my secrets, all my behind the scenes of how I did this for them in their specific situation. But it's going to be, this is not like a conference where you're going to learn some stuff. This is a more intimate group where it's more of an intensive. It's a workshop. You're going to be doing work. We're going to take you from coming in with nothing to leaving with everything you need to have a successful business. We normally charge, $2,500 or $10,000 for this weekend intensive, whatever you think that value is that you could charge. However, you're going to tell them, but since this is the first time we posted this type of workshop in this format, we're going to give it to you absolutely free. All you need to do is register here, show up on this day, and this offer is only free to the first, 50 people, right? So that way you're going to get a rush of people who, even if they haven't heard of you, are so compelled by your success stories that they want to attend the free intensive that you normally see. You say you normally charge $2,500 or $5,000 or $10,000 for it. So that way you plan the event, you fill the event up with real people, and you do your whole outline of how you teach, all the workbooks that they're going to go through, whatever experience you want to take them through from start to finish to feel like they got something out of the event, they accomplished something, they're leaving with, filled out workbooks and things that they can take away and apply to their business. All the way through the event from start to finish, you're going to be recording the event. You're going to have a videographer there that's going to record the event, record you on stage from start to finish. And the only thing that you're going to make the people do, since they got to come to the event absolutely free, is before they leave on the final day, they have to give you a rockin' awesome video success story about how this was one of the best events that they've ever been to. And it's going to be easy for them to say that because you've delivered so much value to them. So now, yes, because the people got to come to the event for free. However, you leave with all the recordings of this event and 10 new, 50 new, 100 new video success stories about how this is a revolutionary event that changed these people's lives and was totally amazing. You're then going to take the recordings of the event and package them into a digital course that is now your first digital product that you've ever created without you doing any extra work to create the product, because everything you did over the weekend intensive and workshop is now broken down step by step in video format into your first digital product. Pretty cool, right? And then going even further, you can then have someone transcribe all the recordings, create an outline out of that, and then package the transcriptions and the outline, rewritten, crafted into a physical book. And then you can take the physical book and you can then do a free plus shipping offer for the book to then send people into a free plus shipping offer funnel to then drive people to a live launch of your digital course that you just created, and then or upsell them to first to that digital course. So pretty much you guys can see how you're leveraging like the live event you're doing into the digital course, into the free plus shipping offer book that then sells the digital course of it, right? And then you can take the buyers of the digital course after people buy your course, you can then upsell them again into like, hey, if you enjoyed the information we reviewed here, in like what you might not have realized is that we were actually at a full event and I was doing and teaching this in person over a weekend intensive. And here's some of the success stories of that intensive because you got them to document the success stories, right? You show the success stories, then you say, hey, if you want to be a part of this exclusive weekend workshop intensive and actually get to ask me questions to take you through the same process and system you went through in the digital course and take you through that next level sooner and do it all in a weekend intensive workshop, you can join us on our next weekend intensive workshop. That offer is available for the first 50 people or first 100 people that buy. It's, $2,500 or $10,000. And now you actually sell it for the price you said you were going to sell it. Now you actually sell it for that exact price and you fill the room. So say you sold it for, $5,000 and you had 50 people buy it. That's $250,000 that you just made from now offering that live event to 50 people. Is that amazing or what? So pretty much then at that live event, if you want, or shortly after, you can then upsell these people into some other type of intensive or an annual coaching program or your done-for-you services that you can now charge a lot higher prices for because you have this whole business that's been built out on the backbone of a new digital course and new digital products that you've created because of the first weekend intensive workshop you've done that's been on the backbone of the success stories and the knowledge you have from your service-based business. And you have now gone full circle of starting with a service-based business with no online business, and you've just taken the success stories from the service-based business, and you've now created a full online business. And you just repeat that over and over. Pretty awesome, right? Okay, cool. And then Georgie had a quick question, and I loved, it's really great timing that Georgie asked this question, and I really had just a bunch of like cool thoughts around this. She said, I run a paid 7-day challenge. My challenge converts extremely well because it's high touch, application form, personal video offer. Any ideas on how you can close that's still effective but more low touch? Also evergreen challenges, yay or nay? So I had this huge response. I just had a bunch of ideas, but it was really interesting. At our last Inner Circle Mastermind with Russell Brunson, like the biggest takeaway and biggest thing that he was teaching us to do was that everyone should be doing a challenge. So I don't know if you guys recently had the chance to follow along, but Akbar was one of the contributors to Russell's new 30days.com book launch, where pretty much they invited some of the 2 Comma Club members to say, hey, if you lost it all, if it all went away, what would you do in the next 30 days to bring your business back? All of these 2 Comma Club experts wrote a chapter, did a training, they did a virtual summit, and they sold this, this product and this offer on the book and the training, access to the virtual summit event for a crazy, ridiculous, inexpensive price of like $100. And then if you wanted his Funnel Audible course, they upsold you like a $27, $47 item on that training. And then he did it all to invite you to the One Funnel Away challenge so that you would be indoctrinated into the ClickFunnels process using the ClickFunnels software. So again, because he leveraged this launch that did $1 million in revenue into a challenge that's now going to get people indoctrinated in using ClickFunnels more ongoing on a deeper level and continue paying or start paying their monthly subscription to ClickFunnels. So this whole concept of using free challenges or low-cost offers to get people into a challenge to then ascend them into your main offer is not just brilliant, but I think it's really one of the core pillars and strategies that's going to revolutionize the launch space as a whole, because it's like everyone loves challenges, everyone loves competing. Like gamification is so powerful, and everyone loves the idea of getting a lot of value for free or for a lower price. So I also like not just Russell's example that Akbar participated in the 30days.com and the One Funnel Away challenge, but also a member in our group, Natasha Hazlett of Unstoppable Influence. She does this awesome 30-day challenge where she gets you a result in your business to make you feel unstoppable. I'm not sure the logistics of what she does, but then at the end of the 30 days, she invites you to a live training, which is her webinar to her $1,000 course. And once she added in the 30-day challenge before the webinar launch of her main course, her conversions like tripled, right? So you guys can see it's all that same concept I talked about of like giving more value for free or for lower cost upfront before you sell them or invite them to your live training to then sell them to your main core offer is going to result in way more sales. Another good example of this is like Garrett White. He has this brand called Wake Up Warrior where he helps wake up married men. And same thing. He has a 30-day challenge where he like sends you a really cool box and invites you to participate in this challenge, and it's really interactive and it's live on Zoom with people in the community in the challenge. And then at the end, he ascends you and sells you into his $10,000 program or his, something like that. So those are great challenges. If you want to learn more about challenges and doing challenges and leading that into a launch, I think it's a brilliant strategy. In terms of like, so those are, I told Georgie, those are great challenges that I'd recommend her to challenge, launch, hack, and really see the behind the scenes of what they're doing. I personally think a 7-day challenge is just a little too short of a period to really add a lot of value and get someone super indoctrinated into it. So I think the concept of like a 14-day challenge or a 30-day challenge has more stickiness. It gives you a longer time to like build community, add social proof, add value. And then the goodwill is built up higher. The value exchange is weighted way more in your favor. And then a lot more people are going to buy your product once you invite them to the webinar launch or the live training to then send them to it. So I hope that helps. I think, again, like I said, the main action item there is I would definitely launch, challenge, hack, Natasha Hazlett, Unstoppable Influence, Garrett White, Wake Up Warrior, and then Russell Brunson's most recent 30days.com and One Funnel Away challenge. And then that was it we got from the questions that came in from the Facebook group. Akbar, are there any questions that came in from the live Facebook group, or just anything that you wanted to ask.
Yeah, definitely. I actually have several questions. However, I have to go get my kids in a few minutes, but I will save those questions. Gosh, I'm sure we'd love to have you back on. But I'll ask you a question here that someone had asked you. Do you know an approximate percentage breakdown of where the customers came from for the poker product launch, for example? Did the majority come from affiliates, JVs, Facebook ads, emails? In your experience, does one specific method work better than another, assuming that you don't have much of a following?
Sure, yeah. So for that launch specifically, so I would say the answer to that in general would be joint venture partners, because joint venture partners have the warmest audience that's a new audience to you that's probably not on your list. So overall, joint venture partners is the answer. That's how you really grow and scale your launch. However, you did preface your question as assuming you don't have much of a following. So if you don't have much of a following, you probably haven't done a launch before. So again, tying back to my point of I would never go evergreen or do a joint venture launch without doing what I call a growth hack launch, which is the way to launch your first product, like we did for the poker guys. Launch a product without it being created, like sell it before you create it to make sure that people will buy it, right? And then you create it live with them. And that's your first iteration 1.0 version of that product. You take all the questions, you take the answers to those questions, you take all the problems people face, the feedback you got, and then you refurbish that, make it a lot better, more quality into a version 2.0. You do an internal launch to your email list using Facebook, Instagram ads, and Instagram influencers, which right now, in my opinion, are the lowest cost per lead acquisition that you could get from paid advertising, which is like another huge launch hack. I think even the thing that a lot of these launchers aren't doing that I'm doing is, Instagram ads and influencer marketing shout outs in story ads and story carousel ads. Like those are converting way better than Facebook ads are, just because I think that Facebook ads they're still great, they're still amazing, but they're getting a little more expensive because some more companies are coming in there. So I think I'm doing a lot more testing and advertising budget allocation to Instagram story ads and Instagram influencer marketers. So if you're starting out, I would start there. I think you could get with some people that really know what they're doing, make some, cool story ads to like a lead magnet or a free plus shipping offer, and then run them there. And then, build like Akbar. I mean, I know you're super big on this, like do a free Facebook group, like add a lot of value in there for free. Yeah. And then have some type of call to action to a lead magnet or a free plus shipping offer in your free Facebook group, get that email list built. Like, I think the biggest thing when people are starting out is they try to take the girl home on the first date, like way too often. They try to swing for the fences out of the gate. Like, you need to understand that just because your business is online, like the people you're trying to work with are real people, like a real, you're not going to become like, you're not going to like get married overnight, right? Like you need to develop like a real relationship with them, which requires time. And even more time needs to be allocated when it's not face to face, right? So I think just if you can get behind this concept of like adding unstoppable value better than anyone in your market for free or for lower cost offers, it's going to allow you to build your list organically and then do this type of growth hack launch that I explained, where you're taking a warm audience, adding value to that audience, asking them what they want through an ask survey. And then one of the things you're asking them what they want is, hey, if one of the following product options were available today, which of the following would you be most likely to buy? Present them with 4 of your best product options to buy. And then the option that gets selected the most, you sell that on a webinar launch. And then if people buy it on the webinar launch, you then you use it as a growth hack launch, and you create the first beta version of that product live with them through a 6-week or an 8-week masterclass. Like the way I figured out to create Launch Hacker Lab, the membership product, it's not because I thought, membership will be the best outside of like a weekend intensive or a workshop or like a course or coaching. It's because I surveyed my audience and I said, hey, which of these products, if they were available today, would you buy? And 70% of the people that answered the survey said the monthly membership of you launch hacking and other top marketers launches, right? So it's like I'm using data of my perfect avatar, even though they're not my customers yet, by surveying the right people to find out what they want to buy and selling that same thing to them. So I think if you can encompass that of adding value, asking your audience what they want after you're adding them value, making sure that avatar is your specific avatar, and then selling that product to them before you create it, it's a recipe for success that has such a high probability that allows us to just launch online businesses and develop online communities at way more of a successful rate than at any other time in business before. So we're so lucky to be living in the time that we're living in, that we can take advantage of the platforms and the technologies and the strategies that we have today.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Great, man. We have some other questions, but we have to run. Otherwise my kids are going to be abandoned.
No, for sure.
But guys, I
Family
cannot
first.
say it again.
I said family first.
Family
Always,
for
right?
yeah. Well, this is family, but I can't recommend enough to go to launchhackerlab.com. That's the first one you want them to
Yeah,
go
so
to, right?
launchhackerlab.com is where you guys can go and get the free plus shipping swipe file. And then, like I said, email me at jeff@digitalmedia.com and tell me you bought it. And then I will send you those trainings absolutely free. Just give me your email when you email me that you use, and I'll give you access to them. And then also, like I said, if you enjoyed this, I guarantee you'll really love the best free launch workshop I've ever put together that's launching on November 1st. And you can go to mylaunchworkshop.com for that. And then again, I do a lot of cool daily trainings around just online business and product launches on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram at Jeff_Brewer, that's possible as well. Put that here.
I think I'm already following you. I'm pretty sure I am. Yeah, I'm already following you. Yeah, it's yeah, this is cool, man. Guys, this is awesome. Gosh, Jeff, well, listen, thank you so much. My God, I'm pretty sure everyone in the family is going to beg me to bring you back. So I'll see if I can twist your arm. But my God, I'm just speechless. I cannot. I just cannot encourage you guys anymore to go to launchhackerlab.com and get this. Thank you so much, Jeff. We're indebted to you. Let us know whatever we can do for you. We're here for you 100%. I'm very blessed. There's a lot of wonderful people in here. So I want you to know, because your time is valuable and everyone's time is valuable, but I want you to know that you have just taught something really valuable to actually a lot of implementers, bro. Like, I'll be totally honest with you. Like, we're getting, like, you know me, I don't really care about the money, right? But we're getting like testimonies regularly. Like, you go in the group, we added you to the group, you'll see like video testimonies, screenshots, people getting their first ever sales, people getting their first ever $10,000 a month. We had our first ever female hit 7 figures. We just had a guy today land a $650,000 contract. So there's a lot of implementers in this group, man, and we don't really care about the money, but the point is they're all making more so that they can give more to their families, communities, and favorite charities, hence making the world a better place. So guys, I can't be any more straightforward. Like, implement this stuff that Jeff just told you. You will make more, and then you will give more. Like, I can't be any more explicit about that. But thanks so much, Jeff. I'm really indebted to you, and God bless, man. Whatever I can do for you, I'm here for you 100%.
Akbar, you're the man. 7-figure family. I hope you guys loved it. Think about how can you implement multiple of those launch hacks in your business tomorrow. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Check out those additional trainings. Feel free to reach out to Akbar and me if you have any other questions, and I hope we were able to add value for you guys here today. And thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. Peace.
See ya.
All right, guys, go implement. That was a real treat, honestly. We're gonna say this recording is gonna be in your members area, and this is timeless stuff. To be honest with you, it really is. I'm sitting here listening, timeless. All right, y'all crazy cats, go implement, make more, and give more. Peace.